Today is day 95 of the podcast, and we're looking at walking in the Spirit as really a description, a prescription for our spiritual journey. We're learning to be led by the Lord and navigating by His indwelling life, His indwelling voice and spirit at all times. We can either, as Christians, walk by the Spirit or walk in a performance-based way of strength of soul, Christianizing our soul and trying to tame our old nature. Often we can speak from a stored up Christian knowledge base using our mind. We can feel good by creating a Christian environment around ourselves, or we can choose Christ and use our willpower to sustain our walk. There is the ability to walk by our mind, our will, and our emotions, and be within a church environment and think that that's what God has in mind. I've shared with you that that's what I did for the first 17 years of my walk with the Lord, was function from strength of soul and being good, conforming to the culture that I had adopted. At this point, I want us to remember that our mind, will, and our emotions are how we operated before the Lord came into our life. If the third person of the Godhead is now indwelling you, then that means we can be restored to our original design, what God had in mind at creation. But there is a relearning process to be engaged with. This relearning process is what I'm referring to as our conversion. Moving from this old operating system that we've had since birth, and then living from this new operating system, the indwelling life of the Holy Spirit, which has a totally different capacity than we have with just our human capacities to adapt and conform. So that capacity grows by exercising it. What we begin with changes as we lean not on our own understanding, but begin to navigate more and more by the fullness of His indwelling life. So here's today's question. As you consider what your spiritual gifts are, what qualities of that gift are supernatural? And by supernatural, I'm not talking spooky, but it's beyond natural capacities.